The rate of zakat is 1/4 of 1/10. And this is how the Arabs used to calculate, and shows you how mathematically sound they were, though they were illiterate, some of them, but they used to know their numbers. So 1/4 of 1/10 is 2.5%. That has to be given of the gold and silver, depending on the threshold and the amount. So in every 200 dirhams, we have to give 5 dirhams. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, in the case of silver, for every 200 dirhams, 1/4 of 1/10 must be given. And he also said, and you do not have to give anything in zakat for gold unless you have 20 dinar. If you have 20 dinars, then, and 1 full year has passed and you still have it, then half a dinar is due. Half a dinar of 200 is 2.5%. Are there any conditions to give zakat over gold and silver? The answer is yes. Number 1, it has to reach the threshold. And the threshold is 20 mithqals of gold or 200 dirhams of silver, as noted earlier. So this is estimated by the scholars to be 595 grams of silver or 85 grams or about of 24 karat gold. The other conditions are the same as the one mentioned before: Islam, freedom, and the possession of the threshold, and the passing of a full lunar year. If I don't have the threshold of gold and I don't have the threshold of silver, can I combine them? So let's assume I have 80 grams of gold and 500 grams of silver. None of them has reached the nisab, the threshold. Can I combine both of them? The answer is no. It is not to be combined, because the Sunnah and the Sharia made a distinction between these two categories of gold and silver. So if it is permissible to buy silver with gold and gold with silver when they're not in the same weight, then these are two different categories, and hence, how can we make them one and combine them? This is not something that the Prophet had done, alayhi salatu wasalam, and hence, they have to be treated separately. Similarly, if I have barley and wheat, can I combine them both for zakat? If I have sheep that is below 40 in number, and I have camels that are below 5, so if I have 4 camels and 30 sheep, can I combine them? No, neither one of them is or has reached the threshold, and hence there is no zakat in it at all. With the exception, of course, again and again and again, if any of the previously mentioned is trade goods. So if I'm a goldsmith that sells and buys gold and silver, even if they're below the threshold, I have to give zakat. And if I'm a trader and I have like 30 sheep and 4 camels, they don't reach the nisab, the threshold, but I am a merchant, I sell and buy with such livestock, then I have to give zakat over that as well. Okay, what about banknotes, currency? This is something that the scholars say that is zakatable as well. Why? It's not gold and silver. We've stated that as long as the community, as the people agreed upon something to be a price to buy things with, then it becomes zakatable. It takes the same role of gold and silver. So these coins, these banknotes, though in reality they may have no value, But because we have the notion and the tension and the intention to allow it to be traded in this case, it becomes zakatable as well. And what is the threshold of banknotes? So let's assume I have dollars. What is the threshold of such dollars? Is it measured by gold itself, or is it measured by silver? This is an issue of dispute. The most authentic opinion is that the threshold of banknotes and cash is measured by silver. Why? Scholars say that the amount of people who have the threshold in silver are far greater than the amount of people who have the threshold of gold. Because the threshold of silver is approximately, let's assume, hypothetically, the value of 595 grams of silver is equivalent to maybe $800, $700. How many of us have this amount and above? A lot. But when it comes to 85 grams of gold, you're talking about something of the approximation of $4,000 or $5,000. So compare $5,000 to $7. The amount of people differs, which means that when the amount of people is greater, this benefits the poor, because all of these people who have $700 and above would give zakat and the poor would benefit. But when the amount of people is little, of those possessing $5,000 or $4,000, then the zakat given to the poor is way little, and the poor will be negatively affected by that. And Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد.